See you to that. All right, we are live and kicking. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to another great show of DCL Primetime. I have with me my fellow analyst Viju as well as Satya, and we are going to walk through last week's games. There were a lot of exciting games, a lot of upsets, a lot of new teams.
All right.
With all right, there was some disturbance, but then anyways, there were some upsets and some predictable wins, but we'll go through them. As usual, we'll start with Division 1 and we will go from the top. So the first game we have is actually Gladiators and Thunderbolts. This was an afternoon game, so slightly different conditions from what uh, most of us are used to playing in the cold. The weather stayed nice this weekend, so that was a big plus for all the teams. Finally, we are having some warm weather, and hopefully that continues and we get the rains away. But this game was closer than I thought, or maybe the scorecard doesn't do justice. But just I didn't watch the game live, but just looking at the scorecard, I felt like Gladiators, made a little more of this game than it should have, chasing 84, chasing 85. Gladiators lost 7 wickets in that effort. It was a great show, as I see from Mansab. He got 5 wickets. He definitely rattled Thunderbolts, and all of his wickets were, on the stumps. He got 4 balls actually, which means that he was dead accurate. And Thunderbolts were, apart from that late partnership between Santosh and Uma Shankar, there wasn't much contribution. Although 84 is a fighting total, I would say, batting first, but it was always going to be a little lesser than what they would have wanted. At least 100, would make a captain comfortable. But also returning back to form is Arjun, and I'm pretty sure both of you guys would be very, very happy to see him amongst the runs. So I would love to hear from you, both Satya and Viju. How did you guys, first of all, prepare for this game? I see a lot of faces not in the game, so I'm sure the F40 availability was an issue as well. Early part of DCL. So over to you, Viju.
Yeah, Parthiv, it was a good game. I mean, the score. I don't know if you're looking at it from a point of view of whether Thunderbolts got the bonus or even were close to the bonus. The answer is no. I mean, it is a one-sided game in that sense. But if you ask
Mm-hmm.
me, the game was a good game. If you ask me, Thunderbolts is a good team. They have good attitude. They have good cricket. It's all business. Um, But again, if you ask me, Vinod usually gives them good starts and he usually bowls 5 overs. In this game, he did not bowl. So probably an injury he's carrying. Then arguably the best bowler is Deepak Bhaskaran and he did not play this game. So that also didn't help. But I think I saw some good talent on their team. They have a guy named Uma Shankar, who's a pretty fiery guy. I'm not sure if his last name is Shankar, but Uma. He is the biggest six of the day, Parthiv. And the best thing is,
Wow.
he pointed to the direction in which the six went, and he made a point to let
Hmm.
everyone know that, he pointed it there and it is gone. It went out of the park. I mean, probably one of the biggest sixes I've seen in a long time. They have a bowler by the name of Abhinav Reddy. He took 3 wickets, good left arm bowler, good game with the ball. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think this was 100% prediction for Glads to win this game. So I think the difference in talent level is still noticeable. And from a Glad's perspective, Arjun played a very good game. If you ask me, this is probably the best innings that I have seen since the injury. And not
Mm-hmm.
before the injury, I'm talking about after the injury. I have
Mm-hmm.
always felt that his foot was not moving. I have told him several times that downfall has been the foot not moving to the ball. But this game, he finally was running a little better. His foot was also moving a little better. And they're still not to the same level at which he was before the injury. But I would
Mhm.
say that he had a good run with the ball, and he was very motivated. I think the loss to KRCC certainly brought the competitor out in him. And sure enough, I think he batted very well. I can't say he bowled very well, Archer. Parthiv. I felt he can bowl a lot better than that. I
Mhm.
felt he was just going through the motions, and it is obvious in the figures because the figures tell you that he was one of our more expensive bowlers. And
Mhm.
whatever the opening bowler Jeet was doing, I think Arjun didn't match him up, is what I felt. And in fact, it's not just me who felt. I got a couple of texts also saying, hey, what's going on? Why is Arjun starting with a new ball? And this bowling is not up to the mark. But and I'm sure this video will be forwarded it to him. But nevertheless, I've seen him bowl much better. In fact, several DCL finals we have used him. So, but batting wise, we were very happy. At least I was very happy. I thought he batted really well. And if that innings was not there, then as you rightly said, this game could have had a different result. But the fact is
Mhm.
that, he came at two down and he controlled the game. And for us, Naeem went one down, which was a pleasant surprise. I had not expected him to go one down, but in hindsight, I would say that that was an excellent decision because he batted really well. He batted like the Naeem of 2008. Maybe not exactly 2008, but pretty close to it was what I felt. Good, solid, straightforward batting. Um, on our um, on our end, I think Hardeep made sure that there was no collapse because after Naeem and Arjun got out, we still were in a spot of bother because I felt that the last ball before the break, Mansab got out, and that was a very needless, if you ask me, pretty silly shot to play. Not his shot, and I have no idea why he. I was hoping that he would just leave the ball or just pat it down because it was the last ball before the break, but he poked at it and got caught behind. But Taif was good with the ball, not with the bat. I still am not seeing what I want to see from Taif with the bat, but with the ball, he was good. The first over and the third over was good. The second over didn't have the this thing, but again, these are people coming back. Age is catching up and things like that. But you have to give him credit because he's a warrior. He puts his hand up and he's ready to go out and do it. And I do not know if you can see it in the video. I saw it on the video. It was a tremendous catch which he took in the covers region. Absolutely fabulous diving catch. And I wondered, is this guy getting younger? I mean, he says he's getting older, but that was not the catch of an old guy. I mean, he was diving and took the catch, and that was a splendid catch. And so I think our fielding was pretty good. I felt, but at the end of the day, Mansab, you can call him Money. He was the money man. Have you seen the movie Papillon? It's a
No.
1960s movie, Steve McQueen movie. All right,
Mhm.
fantastic movie actually. If you didn't see it, you should go and see it. Uh, it is. It tells the story of a man who is wrongly convicted. All right, he is wrongly convicted and he's sent to prison, and his job then becomes his life goal becomes that I need to escape out of the prison, and he makes several attempts to escape out of prison, and each time he gets caught and the punishment is greater than the one before. Finally, he's sent off to a place called Devil's Island, from where pretty much no one ever escapes. It's an island by itself, a very high secluded mountain of this thing, a nightmare place. But out there he constructs a raft out of coconut, you know coconuts kind of a thing, and he basically throws coconuts down and finds out the tide, and he kind of calculates which tide will one of those tides, one of those waves will take him out into the sea. And so he counts it, I don't know, number 13 or number 14 or something like that. He waits and waits and waits, and then he throws this, raft which he cooked up down into the water, and then he himself jumps after it. And the long story short is his determination gets him free. Now,
Mm,
why did I bring that story up? If you ask me, who is on the Glads probably has the highest mission to do anything and everything possible within their power to get Glads to win the game, especially after last week's shellacking. The man is Mansup, our Papillon, or our money man, Mansup. He bowled. If you see this game he bowled with real zip. I do not know if he
mm,
has been going out and working out and trying to improve the strength in his shoulders, but the ball had good zip. All I can say is I am thankful that Glatz has a fighter like him to play the game. I would go to any battle with this gentleman, but a lot of respect for the way in which he approaches the game. Uh, I know that in the past people will criticize Mansab for everything, but all I can say is as a teammate or as a skipper, he's a dream because wherever you want him to go, he's ready to go. He's ready to do whatever it takes for the team to win. Ultimately, that's what you want in a teammate.
mhm,
And this game, if you ask me, that's what it was, being himself, bringing out the fight within himself. And if you ask me, long time back, Bruce Lee once said, always be yourself, express
mhm,
yourself, and have faith in yourself. And I'm telling you, after last week's kicking from KRCC, our Bruce Lees, which would be the Ajbanis, the Afridis, the Taifis, the Mannis, as in Mansab, but they all, or the Hardeeps, they all got it done in style, and they took the thunder out of the Thunderbolts. But this was a good game. It is
mhm.
closer than what the scorecard says, but I would give this. I would give all the credit to Vinod and company for putting out a fantastic game.
Absolutely. I think Thunderbolts, this is their second game in Division 1, so I'm pretty sure they're getting a taste of Division 1. They were exceptional last year. Missed out on the finals, but this has been a a great effort. They won against Stingers close game. They got Gladiators close as well. But I also wanted to find out. I see in the roster, Gladiators roster, quite a few new names. Anyone that we should be looking out to? Anyone that the team should be looking out for? I see Ehsanullah Khan. I see Kasif. Uh, there's one other person which I just ran into. Uh, Majid Khan.
I think
Uh,
Majid Khan is a good addition for us.
mhm,
Uh, um, Kasif, I think it'll take some time. He's young. I think he has got pretty good zip, but I'm not sure if he's T-ball ready yet. All right.
mm,
So, again, remember to earn a spot on the roster or in the playing 11, playing 12, you're going up against solid talent. And if you really look at it, the way Naeem Afridi played this game, if he plays like that, he's creating a spot for himself, right? I mean, um, that's just what the doctor. If you look at it, I think our best addition is Zishan. He gives us a
mm,
terrific option at the opening, in the sense that we have always struggled for openers. And last year, if you look at it, until the DCL final, we were always 2 or 3 wickets pretty much down by the time the 3 overs of power play was done. And that has been something which was holding us back last year. If we finally figured it out by the time we reach the final. But again, I think Zishan gives us the ability to um, play a little more carefully, at least on the opening spot. So I think that's a good addition. I think Majid is a very good addition, is what I feel. But again, he's new to T-ball, and we'll have to see how that works out. But whatever I saw in the game against KRCC, I felt that held a lot of promise. But I'll be honest with you, Parthiv, there is no way we can replace Amin Jahan. That's our
Mhm.
biggest challenge. And
Mm.
for that, I think Satya will have to raise the level of his game. Um, all the others are still there, but that one piece, when you take it out, that becomes a real problem as to how we can solve that problem. I'm not sure. We're still looking. I don't think we have the answer yet.
Yep. So we'll keep an eye on these young lads and see how they are coming through for Glads this season. But let's move on to the next game. The next game was another one which was quite close, and I think this was something that we kind of were expecting from Bulls and Pokeries. Obviously, we all kind of sided with Pokeries, being the reputation and the record they have in DCL, but we all know what Bulls are capable of. Bulls is a fine unit, fighting unit, uh, very very bowler friendly. Last year, I remember they defended quite a few low scores. But what is refreshing this year, and I saw it in our game as well, is that batting is coming through. They have a few good additions in their batting lineup. And with Asanka coming in, he batted well last year. Nikhil Sunny is finding form as well. Obviously, you have Gino, the ever reliable Gino James, in there. And then Swapnil, another one of the strikers, which is now playing in Detroit Bulls. So I know him. He's a fine ad as well. But all in all, I think the batting is coming through. One key missing ingredient in this game was the absence of the century maker. I didn't see him, Tanmay, in this batting. So I'm sure that must have hurt Detroit Bulls to get to that match winning score. But they weren't able to defend. They came against Arun Thinakaran, and we all know how dynamic and how aggressive he is. He can get the he can take the game away from you in a very quick time, and exactly what he did, opening with Saran Raj. I think that opening partnership killed it for Detroit Bulls. I think after that they were always catching up, although they did find their way through the middle order, but then they ran up against Manoj, and I always wonder why they send Manoj so late. I've seen some of his batting, and he's pretty good. And I don't think he deserves a number 8 or number 9 position that he generally goes to. I think he probably would be better served going up a slightly more up in the middle order. Sanjay, I think, is still struggling. I think he struggled last year as well in the MCC Miles squad, still finding his way through Procrease. But Pokri somehow managed to scrape through. I think this hard-earned points, although all 5 of them, they'll be relieved that they got the better of Bulls in this close encounter. Yes, Viju.
Again, I think we all have different definitions of close encounter. For me, if you don't get the bonus point, it is not a close encounter. For me, this is a one-sided game because Bulls did not get even a bonus point, and Pokris completely controlled it. Parthiv, I picked Pokris to win. I think you picked Pokris to win. I think we all picked Pokris to win. And let me give you my reason why I picked Pokris to win. If you ask me, both teams are mirror images of each other. Both teams don't beat each other up. They both are solid teams. They both will make you earn the win. They both will bat the full 25 overs. Both have decent bowling. All right.
Mhm.
Yet, if you ask me, Pokeries do everything slightly better than the Bulls. If the Bulls have Tanmay Zante, again, we could make a case that he is probably one of the best batsmen in DCL right now, based on the way he is playing. While the Pokeries have Saran, who is no pushover, who has historically been one of the best batsmen in DCL. All right. So
Mhm.
they would cancel each other out. Well, the Bulls have Gino, and uh, well, if the Pokeries, they have their corresponding Gino, which is Neil, who was an ex-Bull. So you have a Bull and an ex-Bull. They again would cancel each other out. They both can do what whatever what the other person does with the bat and the ball. Well, the Bulls have Nikhil Sunny, who's a dynamic opener who can also bowl. Well, you guess what? Pokris have Manoj Prabhakar, who can pretty much do the same thing. The only difference is one is coming in the middle order, the other person is opening the batting. But again, they cancel each other out. Well, the Bulls have Vatsal Lande as skipper, and he's a good bowler. Well, the Pokris have Sudarshan or Priyesh, whoever you want to pick. Either of those two guys to cancel Vatsal out. But what the Pokris have is they have Vicky, they have Sanjay this year added, and then they have Arun Tinakaran, for which the Bulls have no answer. This game, Pokris got to use Arun Tinakaran and they got to tell the Bulls, we have Arun Tinakaran and you don't have Arun Tinakaran. And that's the difference in the game. It's much like Argentina saying, we have Lionel Messi,
Mhm.
you don't have Lionel Messi. The team
Yep.
which has Messi wins the game. All right, maybe I'm using a little hyperbole, and maybe Tinakaran is no Messi. All right, we can agree to that. But name one guy in DCL who can play that scissor shot. With on one knee down, hit the ball. Any ball which you throw to him, he is capable of hitting it out of the park, and that's a trademark shot of his. He has perfected it. If you look in this game, he started very slow. He built up his innings. He got an eye of the ball. But by
Yep.
the time the innings is over, it's a 100 more than a 100 strike rate. All right. And it's
Mm.
that six hitting ability of Arun Tinakaran which changes the dynamic because there is nothing like a good ball. He can still throw it out of the park. So name one guy who can do that, and then uh, I'll say that I'll accept that. But if you can't, then everybody else needs to keep quiet and say that, you know what, more power to Arun Tirakaran and more power to the Pokris.
I,
They have something which nobody else has.
I had one question though. Last year, I think Pokris had the services of three left arm spinners. There was Raghu. There was I forget his name. Amrish, is it
No,
or
I think it's Arvind Sabarish. They had
Sabri?
Raghu Palaniswamy, and then they had Sudarshan Sigga, right?
Sudarshan. Yep.
Sudarshan. Yep.
That's
So I think they
they're
still
missing
have
two.
Sudarshan,
Yep.
but Arvind Sabarish was not playing last year also that many games. I think he was more committed to leather ball last year. I do not
Hmm.
know if he's still on the Pokris roster. I haven't really looked at it. I'm sure Satya probably knows in and out, but I haven't kept that close look at their roster. But yes, Raghu
Yeah.
definitely is a loss, but
Mhm.
they had multiple options at left arm spin. So it's like
Yep.
it's overload of riches. So just losing Raghu is not that big a loss from a bowling angle. I think it's a bigger loss from the batting angle.
Yep. Yep, they're pretty loaded. I see they still have a lot of armory. They have a lot of weapons in their kitty. I don't see Gotham as well. I think he's a great asset as well. So he's not in here. I don't know if Ranjit is still planning to continue. I know
Gautam
he's been.
was about to get in, but they won the game. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I haven't seen Ranjit this year yet, so not
Ranjit is
sure if.
coming to all the games, but still is not 100% fit. So I saw him in the
Mm.
ground. They were playing aside of a game. So
Oh, that's good you told me because I was going to say, is Ranjit at the meat shop cutting all the meat down and not attending the games?
he's
I was
there
going
for
to
all the
put,
games.
he's there for all the games. Is that, yeah, well, that's the Ranjit I know. He wouldn't miss anything. If
Mm.
he has only one leg, Ranjit is a guy who will play on one leg. So
Yep.
he has a high
Yep.
tolerance for pain, let me tell you that.
All right. Let's move on to the next game. The next game, I think everyone, you, myself, everyone else will agree. This was a very one-sided game. Fighters, Stingers, 60 runs, win by Fighters. Stingers had no response. to fighters in this game. I mean, there was no resistance at all in this Stingers batting. After conceding those 110 runs, uh, I would have expected Stingers to give it a go. I mean, they are another team like Thunderbolts who have recently moved into Division One. So essentially, it's a point for them to prove. And I always consider when you are a newbie coming from Division Two to Division One, you have really nothing to lose. So you should basically be you know having no pressure. Nobody's expecting miracles out of the team. Nobody's expecting you to go down championship. You should be basically giving it everything. So hopefully, I expect a lot of more fight from Stingers. But this game was a kind of a disappointment. Coming to the fighters unit, I think they are starting to click. I know a lot of these guys have been wanting to get to that next level. They've been a very strong unit. A couple of great additions as well. We talk about the move made Amit Sevarai. He's moved from Canton Hurricanes, two fighters, as well as Anil Balireddy. Did he move, or was he near last year? I think he was there last year.
He was there.
Uh,
Raghu
yeah,
moved.
he was there. I think Raghu is a big addition coming from Pokris as well.
And
So
Arjun Ambala. Like I think he's new
Arjun,
addition. Might be from Agni or something.
okay, yeah. So yeah, there have been a few good additions fighters unit. I mean, obviously they had the services of. I think what they will probably miss is some of the experienced guys. I think Sai is missing along with the other more Sai than anyone else, because the other Falcon guys were probably more aging. Yes, they bring that experience, but I don't think Vadnala would be missed that much. I think Sai's batting would be something that fighters will definitely miss. But all in all, I think a very easy game for fighters, Viju, won't you say?
Did Sai move to Hari Parankusam's team? Is that what it is?
I'll have to check, but I think you might be right. He might have
Okay,
moved to either Knockers or Stars, one of the two.
okay. Well, I very much doubt it will be Knockers. Uh, I can see him moving to Hari's team. But
Yes, he is. Yes, I can confirm he's on Hari's squad. Yep.
okay. Oh, well, you know what? Do you remember a guy named Frank Gore, Parthiv? There
The
was a football player. He's a running back of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes, yes, I was going to
He
say,
was a
yeah.
legend. If you have played fantasy, you'll know this. I
Yep.
used to pick up Frank Gore every year. You know why? Because he never got injured. This guy
Mm,
was durable. I have never seen him miss a game. He will
mm,
play through everything. And he used to be called Cockroach in NFL because they used to say if there is a nuclear war, the only things which were going to survive was
right.
Frank Gore and the cockroach. Now, uh, why did I bring that up? I brought that up because the fighters unit reminds me of Frank Gore. They're like the
Mm,
cockroach. Now, I'll get to that. I mean that with the utmost respect, actually, because fighters is another unit that will not beat itself. They will bat the full 25 overs. You
mm,
think you got the head of the roach or you got the head of Frank Gore, like in the case of in this game, Mano and Amit didn't do anything. But long
mhm,
behold, here comes Suhesh Ravi, here comes Moon, here comes Anil, here comes MBB, and they all do what just the doctor ordered. If you look at their last three games, all three games played this season against Miles, 102 for 7 in 25 overs. Legends, 81 for 8 in 25 overs. Stingers, 110 for 9 in 25 overs. I rest my case, Lord Parthiv. I rest my case. This is what I was talking about. No disrespect meant to the Roach, but I have always picked Frank Gore in fantasy because I know he'll play all the games. If you ask me, these guys are like Frank Gore. It doesn't matter how you win. It doesn't matter whether you win ugly. It doesn't matter whether you win by 100 runs. It doesn't matter whether you are artistic or you won by a blockbuster. These guys will give you a gutsy effort. The only question that matters is, did you win the game? And
Hmm.
yes, they have won the game 3 out of 3 games. They are on top of the charts. And there you can take that, you Roach haters. If you ask me, the Stingers, well, finally, I'll have to use that stingy word again. Well, these guys were very stingy in this game. Even though they're supposed to be stingers, they played a very stingy type of game while batting, Partha, because they scored an almighty 35 runs in 18 overs of the bat. Honestly, there is nothing much I can talk about. All right. Their bowling was fine, but I think it is their batting which really disappointed. So, but none of us expected them to win this game against Fighters. Fighters had too much fight to take the sting out of the Stingers, Partha.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, you rightly said. Fighters unbeaten third week in a row, so topping the table and really giving it a real good run for the money for because I think KRCC are in hot pursuit of them as well. So it's going to be interesting as they start into the second half of this season. But coming to interesting, the next game was a very interesting one because I think we all got this wrong, except I think Chetan Bhai. I think Chetan Bhai got it right. It
Yeah, he did.
was
He did.
he did.
He did.
I don't know whether he just he just happened to pick randomly, but I remember, and I think most of us got. The Vijay was listening to our show, and right after our predictions, he texted me as well. He was very confident, sounding really, almost chest beating brow, saying, you guys have got it wrong. And he even asked me, can you change your prediction? And I said, no. Now that it's on air, I can't really go back and change my prediction. It's done. But he was very confident that dynamites are going to get the better of stars, and lo and behold, I was, apart from my game, I was looking at this game because I was interested. I'd asked him when he was there on the ground for the previous week that, are you getting your PSL exploits, because I was curious, because PSL this year has been pushed, so there's, it kind of conflicts with our schedule as well. So I was curious as to what he is up to this year, and looks like he's got a couple of the big fast bowling guns again this year, and those are the guys that actually made a lot of difference, along with, not to forget, some of the old veterans of dynamites. Arun Selvaraj, can't discount his bowling effort. 4 overs, 2 made in 6 runs and 2 wickets, especially considering he must have bowled in the power play. That was an exceptional start. And then you have the two Muhammads, Muhammad Hassan Khan and Muhammad Ghazanfar. Those are the two new recruits. Would love to know from their origin, where they were, if they were here in Michigan or they just arrived. But somehow, uh, Vijay has got a pipeline which he keeps exploiting and getting people into his squad. Now the question remains, and I think everybody wants to know, is why doesn't he get these guys at the start of the season? Why does he have to wait until dynamites are losing and then suddenly uh, get these guys in to salvage some pride? I'm hoping that this is not a one time thing, and he gets these guys for a longer term. But all in all, if that's the case, dynamites might be really a force to reckon with.
Well, Vijay texted me that Bruce Lee said, "Be like water." What my friend Vijay doesn't understand is that Bruce Lee made a lot of statements, right? Just like you and I make lots of statements. So one
Mhm.
statement was "Be like water," but Bruce Lee did make the statement which I quoted. You see, so nevertheless, if Vijay doesn't believe me, he's more than welcome to go and use the internet and check it out, and he'll find that Bruce Lee did make the statement, which I did say. But you have pretty much covered the whole game, Parthiv. Really, nothing more for me to add, other than add some masala portion of it, because my friend Vijay, he tends to take things a little personally, especially when things don't necessarily go the way he thinks it should have gone. Now, I believe there was an incident in this game. This was Dynamites versus Stars. And the incident was one of his players. If you look at it, Sachin got hit wicket, all right, for a duck. And what apparently happened is the ball uneven bounce or whatever it is, but or maybe our friend Imtiaz raised the pace and he's now the Shoaib Akhtar of DCL. But whatever happened, the ball was quite a good, peppy, fast ball. And it took off from wherever it took off after landing, and it struck the batsman, I believe, on the nose or probably on the head or something like that. So much so that he lost control of the bat,
Oh,
and
wow.
the bat hit the wicket. That's how I understood it, and then the thing is that uh, the bat hit the wicket, and the wicket, the bails fell off. At this point, I believe Kiran was the umpire, and Vijay is vehement that Kiran got it wrong. Now, here is my question. If the ball hits the batsman in the attempt of hitting a shot and he falls on the wicket, isn't it out? To the best
Yeah,
of my
that is
knowledge,
out. Yes.
to my
Yes, that
best,
is out.
well, what difference does it make if it is the bat which is hitting the wicket? It was dislodged from the batsman's hand while attempting to play the shot. And
Right.
if it happened at that point of time, then as far as I'm concerned, I believe Kiran would have got it right. And I do not think it is wrong. And to then say that there is no sportsmanship spirit, well, I don't believe that that's accurate. And I told this to Vijay straight up on the phone that I did not agree with him. So it's whatever I'm
Hmm.
telling you right now.
That's the
And
rule. I really don't understand how we can argue on that. I
I
don't think
told him that
there's
I told him the same thing, that it might be his player, but sometimes you have to be able to separate your player from the facts, because like they say in a court of law, the only thing that matters are the facts, not opinions, right?
right.
So if this was during a shot being played, as far as I'm concerned, that is out, and somebody needs to show me why that is not out, because then the whole concept of hit wicket goes out of the equation. Whether Imtiaz needs to go and check on the batsman, well, that's not Imtiaz's job. Imtiaz is out there to play the game, and he's out there to this thing. I mean, this happened in the DCL final. You saw this. Who's this? Taif had a very serious injury. He can't continue. Hari Parankusam asked Arjun to be the runner. Well, we know that Arjun was coming off an injury. And so realistically, Satya made the only call which was available to him, which he had to retire Taif. Was that wrong? I don't think it was wrong. I fully agree with whatever Hari Parankusam did at that stage, because Hari Parankusam came to win the game. And if you are not there to win the game, then why in the world are you playing? You're there.
Yep.
You play a game to win the game. Parthiv, explain this to me. Did strikers go and play GLCC with the intention of losing the game? You guys were going to do everything possible within your power to win the game. Even though you predicted that GLCC will win, you were going to do everything within your power to win the game,
Absolutely.
right? So
Yep.
that applies to everybody. And so I honestly do not feel that. I feel that sometimes we need to keep our emotions in check. I respectfully disagree with Vijay on this one. I told him that on the phone, and I tell that publicly too, that I feel that the umpire got this right. That's what I feel.
Yep. The
I told
only
him the same thing.
yeah.
And
Yep.
the only way it could be not out is if the
Yep.
batsman had control of this thing, and after this thing in the shot was over, everything was over, in frustration he knocked the bails off.
Right.
Now at that
Or he
point
was
the
going for
shot,
a run after. Yeah.
yeah, but there was no run involved here because he was
Yeah. Yeah.
injured. You get my point? So the bat
Right.
fell, is what I understood it. Now, we do not have video. If we had video, we could have reviewed it and seen if this was a deliberate act by the batsman in frustration. If it is a deliberate act, then yes, it's a different ball game altogether. But if it is you lost control of the bat, that's as good as you falling on the wicket because the bat is an
Absolutely.
extension of this thing. So,
No, I agree. I
yeah.
think, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that's the law. It has to be in that action of, the ball faced by the batsman, even if it's an evasive action. So even if it's something like you said, you you got hit and you fall on the stumps, or you're trying to avoid the ball, or whatever the case may be, that's still part of the action. So that is considered to be still hit wicket. And the only time it doesn't is when the action is completed. Like, you've it's finished and you're attempting to go for a run. That's happened. Like, people have hit, and then, while attempting to go for a run, they hit the wicket. That's still, but then that still, I think it's still umpire's discretion unless there's video evidence. There are times when it's close. It's like 50-50 whether it's still in action, because I've seen in instances, when people have been playing shots and their foot drags and hits the stumps. So that is still, even though it can be considered that you're attempting a run, but you're still in kind of playing that shot, and action is still not completed because you're going on the back foot. You're still trying to play a shot, even though it's part of the running as well. There's a gray line, which I only think the video evidence can prove it.
Yeah, and again, I think if it was part of the shot, and if the shot has not been completed, and before the shot is completed, if the bat fell up from his hand, that is out. That's how I see it. Of course, we
Yep.
do not have video evidence. I remember pointedly asking Vijay, when the ball hit, did the bat fall on the wicket? Well, he said yes. Well, for me, that seals it, because if the
Mhm.
bat was knocked off from your hand and it went and landed on the wicket, it doesn't matter that the player got injured. Yeah, we feel sorry for the player that
Yep.
he was injured, but it is part of the game. If it hit
Yep.
the wicket, it is out. It doesn't matter whether it is a Glads player or a Strikers player or a Dynamites player. The rule is the same for everybody.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, again, all I can say is yes, we got the prediction wrong. But you know
Yes.
what? In our defense, it's very difficult to predict the dynamites, Partho. It's very difficult to predict the dynamites because I have no idea. You have no idea when the international talent is going to show up. And when the international talent shows up, they are a different team. When the
Yep.
international talent doesn't show up, then they are also a different team. So the question then becomes, when is the international talent showing up? Well, if they are showing up, then they're probably winning the game and they will upset anybody and everybody, except if you are KRCC. I feel KRCC is at a different level. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, we
But
might say
but
whatever
I
you
only
want to
think,
say, but yeah,
yeah,
go
the
ahead.
only thing I would say is, yes, the incident was something that, causing injury is not something that we want in DCL. We obviously want safety first, but that's unfortunate. But the only silver lining for Vijay is, like, yes, that might have been a controversial call, but in the end they won the game.
Yeah,
So
Partha, he's very adamant, and he says, stars can never beat dynamites. And I think in the past, two stars have lost probably to dynamites. Maybe it was
yeah,
last year. I
Stars is
could be
one of the
wrong.
teams. Yeah, Stars is one team that has lost a lot of good players, and I think this is something which is going to impact them through the season. I do not see for any money Stars making it past the pre-quarters as well. I mean, it looks like a very, very weakened Stars unit. I see a lot of age as well. I mean, maybe Stars and Strikers are probably similar, but the presence of Sushil Bhatt kind of tips them over. I know Sushil is quite a veteran, But I see a lot of age players here in Stars as well, and I don't think that's the way to go forward. Hari has lost a lot of his, uh, big guns. Obviously, we haven't seen Teja in the mix yet, but just I don't think Teja can take them all the way there. So I do feel like Stars is one team that I feel a lot of teams will now fancy beating this year.
Yeah, but don't you think if Teja and Shakar play together, that team is very, very difficult to beat?
I don't think so because until last time I think Giriyappa was providing that cover as well for Teja. He and Ravi are probably the two ones who were carrying. They lost I think another player Hari Murli Krishna or Murlidharan. He was also a good one.
They lost a
Uh,
lot of the Blazer talent, Parthiv. They
yeah.
lost Sham Kacheti too, and they
Yes.
lost Zishan Gori. These guys
Yeah.
were all playing on Blazers under Imtiaz, all right? But
Yep.
I guess this is where I don't know, man management comes into the picture because I think Zishan left because he was not picked for the finals. But I think Hariharan Muralidharan also probably left for maybe not exactly the same reason, but some other reason. But
Mm.
nevertheless, same thing, Sham Kachetty also. But they are going out there to other teams and doing well. So
Yep.
I do not know. Again, this is how I feel. I feel that if Shakar and Ravi Teja play and Sainath plays, I think they can.
Another one I remember, Satya Chanta. He was also there, right?
Yeah,
That's a
but he's
big loss.
still there. I don't think he left. I think he's still on their team. If I'm not mistaken, he played
Oh,
game number one when they lost that first game.
okay,
I
let me
could be
check.
wrong, but I
He's
think
still
he's still.
there. He's still
Yeah.
there in the roster.
But I think
Oh,
his
he's still there.
commitment is I think his commitment is to 40. So this is going to be the problem.
Mhm. How about Amar? I have not seen or heard about him. Is he still around in Michigan? Anybody know about him?
I do not know anything. But I know one thing, Bangera is not going to be joining them because Bangera played for Indus.
Yeah, Thunders. Yeah,
So so so
that's clear.
so that avenue is closed for
Mhm.
stars.
Yeah, yep. But I do think we're going to play Stars as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I would fancy playing Stars now.
Yeah, you will be
Well, I think
playing wearing your gold.
after you beat GLCC, you can fancy playing anybody. We'll get to that game. That's going to be a cracker of an analysis, right? I think Satya has
Yeah.
some special video effects for that. So, but we have to tell something about our. We asked for that video of couples catch, and we
Mhm.
got the video sent to us. So.
Yep. That
But
yep.
you know
We'll get
what?
to that. But before,
I got the answer you're asking. Vignesh has just texted me saying that
mm,
what's this? He's saying that
oh,
uh,
in a few weeks.
Amar is in Texas and he might be
Okay.
joining Stars in a few weeks.
Okay.
So
That definitely
so,
helps.
so when is your game? When is your game with Stars?
We'll have to see that because yeah, that will make a huge difference. Summer coming back, and if you add that to the mix, definitely will make it hard to beat Stars. I mean, if both of those guys, Ravi Teja and Amar, are together, yeah. If he Amar doesn't get you, Ravi Teja will get you. It's
See,
like that.
Vignesh has got the entire, he's clued in on everything. He says that he's forming
Raviteja
a
might
team.
not come for first 2 months, I think so.
Oh, where is Ravi Teja?
No, he got newborn baby, I think, so he may not be available.
Oh
Oh, okay. Well, it's his
well,
wife who had the baby, so he
Yeah,
can
but
still play. I'm sure Hari Parankusam can easily convince him. Hari Parankusam can convince a lot of people about a lot of things. Okay, so I'm very
I
sure he can convince them how to play the game and go back. All right. If okay, here is the thing, Parthiv. Let me tell you something. You want to know what is commitment? Rehan Malik.
I know a
Re-
story which I don't think anybody
Rehan
can beat.
Malik.
Oh
Rehan
yes, that
Malik.
is the story. Yeah,
That is the story. Yeah, Rehan Malik. I am witness to that. All right. This is a
yeah.
DCL final. His wife gave birth, I don't know, at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. And the game started at around 8:30. And this
Oh
man
yeah.
came directly from the delivery room to the DCL ground, played the game, and won the final. And that was Brownstone's first championship victory, which they won. You see, and the year was
I
2005,
I don't
if
believe
I'm
it.
not mistaken.
That story I've heard it multiple times. I think it's said on the stage as well on DCL night a couple of times at least. When we've talked about how what DCL means and how special it
Oh,
is.
I
I
guess
don't think ever
who is the guy who told the story? I'm the guy who told the story. And guess what?
exactly.
This was, you know what? We used to run the fantasy league at that time. You were I think the highest paid player,
Yeah,
hundred
yeah.
thousand
I
dollars,
used to do
hundred
everything
thousand
that.
dollars or something like that. $1 million budget. Unlike Satya's fantasy, where there is no budget at all, that you can pick anybody and everybody. That's not fantasy. But let me tell you, in this one, if you picked one Parthav, you couldn't probably go and pick Arjun
Yeah,
Ajbani and Vignesh Venkateshan and Ravi Teja and any this thing. No, you can only pick two or three
right.
superstar players, and then your budget is gone. You'll have to pick all the Viju Zacharias and the Hari Parankusams of the world. Otherwise, your budget is not going to match. And guess who won it? That the He had you in that fantasy lineup,
Yep.
and the
Yeah.
person
Yes, I
was
remember.
Salman is the name of that son of Rehan Malik. See, I haven't even
Oh,
forgotten his name because he won the
yeah.
fantasy.
Those were some amazing days. I remember at that time I used to do everything, keeping, bowling, batting, and I used to lead, so I used to get all the points as well. And I remember a lot of people used to, playing that fantasy, which you used to have the EP poll. People used to text me and say, "Are you going to bowl? Are you? Why aren't you bowling your 5 overs?" Because
Yeah,
people wanted those points.
yeah, but well, I had my
That
son
was
pick
crazy.
you. I said, you know what? Forget about everybody. Take this guy because he's going to bat, he's going to keep, he's going to bowl, he's going to
Exactly.
do
Yeah,
everything.
that's the Paisa Vasool player.
So I used to call it Paisa Vasool. Anyway, I wanted to update that Vicky says that he's forming a team for Tana Cup. So apparently there is a Tana Cup,
Hmm,
and that's what Vicky has heard. And Vicky is pretty clued in on everything. So I think we
nice.
can pretty much take it as fact. All right.
Yep. All right,
But
let's
thanks,
go to the
Vicky.
next game. It's the local boys and KRCC. Now, KRCC, fresh off the dropping, they gave Gladiators. I think they
Thanks
cruised
for
past.
reminding that part of yes, it was a dropping.
Well, they are on a roll. They got the better of local boys. Pretty easy, one-sided game. Even though they lost 5 wickets, but they scored in a rapid time, 15.5 overs, those 86 runs. Local boys, they had a fantastic season last year. The champions of Division Two, coming into Division One, obviously, it's going to take some time playing some of the bigger teams. But I think they have a very fantastic unit. I've seen at that even during the finals. They play as a unit. They have some talent revolving around. Obviously, the big guy. What's his name? I always forget his name. Srinivas Alumni. Yeah. Uh, everything revolves around him. He is the linchpin. Senthil leads the team really well, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if they get a couple of really good wins and upset some of the bigger teams, because I think they definitely have what it takes to win games. I think all they need to do is just believe in themselves and believe that they have the talent to actually upset some of these big teams. KRCC, on the other hand, I think you gave a very detailed outlook of what they are capable of, and I think they just keep adding more and more talent. I see even in this scorecard, quite a few players from the last time they played Gladiators missing, and still they were able to knock local boys out in, without a sweat. So it feels definitely KRCC is the team to beat with their batting and the bowling coming good. It's going to be tough for anyone to see beyond KRCC. Yes, Viju.
Uh, Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything much to add more than what you have already said. Whatever I've said last week applies this week. Well, this week, just that the main characters have changed. It was this week the Muned and the Oni show.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, result is the same, one-sided game. Uh, uh, if these two teams played each other 5 times again, well, if KRCC puts their top talent, I would bet all 5 times that KRCC wins the game. No offense to local boys, but the talent level is completely one-sided at this point, because you
Yeah,
can't win too many games in pool. What is that? Division 1, if only one of your players is doing all the heavy lifting. So I think
yep.
last week I gave you the key to victory, which would be eliminate Srinivas Elimelay out of the equation, and uh, half the job is done.
Yep. But I think they missed the trick last week. Maybe not last week, the week before, where they played FCC. I think that was the biggest chance to actually get the points on the board, because I felt like local boys definitely uh, are a better unit than FCC. I think they missed. I mean, they'll probably regret those points dropped. But that was a game that they should have won last year and last week.
I'll agree with you. That was a game they had in their bag until
Mm.
Sujan pretty much
Yep.
took the rasgulla out of their mouth. That rasgulla
Yep.
was almost down the throat, Parthiv, and Sujan came and pulled that rasgulla out of the mouth. That is exactly what happened last week. And if they go back and analyze that game, they will see that that's what that happened. That rasgulla was almost halfway down the throat, and it got pulled out. I mean, that was a daylight robbery. But anyway,
Yes, talking about Rasgulla and sweet, I think our fellow analyst Gaba would be very happy with this result that they have achieved, and the batting
Parthiv,
has
before
been.
whenever you say Gaba, I am always reminded of his good friend Vijay. Vijay doesn't want to be left behind. He texts me that, you know what, when his babies was born, if whatever Rehan Malik can do, Vijay can do better, because Vijay has
Oh,
twins. And Vijay says when his boy piece was born, he was umpiring the game. Now keep
oh
that.
my
All right.
God, that is if that is
All
true.
right. And he
Oh,
Okay, if you don't believe me, it's right here. All right. I don't know if I
oh my
can
God,
do anything to do with this thing. Yeah, he says that, he rode from Rush from Helen Allen Park in Rochester Hills to Dearborn. I guess he lives in Dearborn, doesn't he? Or he used to live in Dearborn or somewhere close to that. So,
Rochester. I think he used to live
yep.
at Rochester before.
But
But yeah,
anyways,
that is definitely a big story as well, because yes, Rehan,
so
came
we
over.
no, nobody knew that story until it became a prime time exclusive, and we had to bring
Wow,
it out.
wow, Vijay, that is seriously, that needs to be told on the stage, if that, if that is because Rehan's story is exceptional, because that is a final he won, and it becomes all the more bigger and important. But this is an exceptional story as well. Coming to umpiring, that's commitment, dude.
Now let me ask you this, Vijay, Parthiv. I have something against Vijay. What's the use of doing all this talking, but he's not playing any of the games, Partha? How do you read that? I mean, he's going for all the games and he's arguing with Kiran and says to Kiran, you need to talk to me. Well, here's the
Well,
problem. He's not playing the game. Now, how do you read this, Partha? You are an ex-committee member. You just left the committee. So you're free to express your opinions.
yep, I think that's always going to be, no matter how much you try to enforce that it should always be the captain talking. There's always going to be that emotional taking the better of you. Vijay, obviously, everybody knows that he's the guy for dynamites. So even if if he's around, he basically is the guy that anybody would go to if there is a if there's any issue or any topic to discuss for Dynamites. So I mean, I guess he's just earned it. I would say yes. He would probably not. He would be advised not to go on the field. Off the field. If you want a word with the umpire, entirely at the umpire's discretion. If he wishes to talk or doesn't wish to talk, it's up to him. But yeah, on the field, I think he should let the captain do the talking. But newfound respect after this story has come out. Uh, that is commitment. That is definitely going to umpiring. With this situation is definitely something which I haven't heard or never could expect.
All I know is I would like to see Vijay on the field, Partha. This is me as a competitor. I want Hari Parankusam on the field. I want Vijay on the field. If KK is leading, I want KK in the team playing the game, because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, that's your team. And if that's your team and you're the skipper, well, I think you should be playing. Simple as that. All right. I mean, there are 12 people, so you can find 11 other people to do whatever it needs to be. And it's not like that Vijay can't bat. Vijay can bat. And I think last year also he showed that he can bat. So making way and giving, I don't know, chances to other people and things like that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if this is your team, you should play. Uh, I think that's the only right thing. Tell me, Parthav, you played the game against GLCC. That's a special feeling,
Mhm.
especially when you can make your team win. We'll get to that in this thing, but you can't beat that feeling.
Absolutely, but I think there's two I would say sides of thinking. I know that a lot of people, like you said, and believe in that. Like if it's my team, I'm ought to play, even if it's 11 other people, I ought to play. But there is another level side of thinking is like you don't want to hold on to a place where somebody else can do a better contribution when you know that you're past your prime, or you know that your fitness or whatever the case may be. So there's two sides of how you think about it. Vijay probably is on the other side of your thinking. He feels like he's there, he's supporting the team, he's providing that whatever the management it needs from a
Yeah, Partha, but at the
very
end of the
focused.
day, if you're the skipper and you don't play and you win the championship or whatever this thing, people are always going to say, well, you didn't play. But my point is with the present DCL. Now, remember, in 2014, we had only 11 players and I still played the DCL final. All right.
Mhm.
Now, if we had won that championship and I did not play, I would have always wondered, what difference did I make? You get my point. So I feel that. The skipper should play, especially in this one where any 11 can bat and any 11 can bowl. It's your team. You should be there. And when you speak, your words have a lot of meaning. People get motivated. They are coming and playing for you in your team only because of you. So you should play. I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, anything else is less than that. Doesn't matter. But anyway, Vijay says that he's going to be playing going forward. So we are having some effect.
Okay, that's nice to hear. All right, let's go on to the next game. It is the Titans versus FCC. Now, this was another one which was a 5-0 in terms of analyst predictions. We all expected Gabaji's team to roll past FCC, and I think they did exactly that, scoring 115. Praveen Dige has been in exceptional form. Last year, he topped the charts, and this year he's just behind Tanmay, a few runs shy. But the way he's batted, I think the first inning, the first game, he scored a 50. This game also 32, a significant contribution. He, along with Ishan, provided that uh, huge partnership up front. 65. They went at a fairly good clip, 10 over 65. And that I think demoralized FCC. Yes, FCC came back through. A few runouts helped. Sujan's bowling, obviously, that's one of the key aspects of FCC. But I think Titans had enough runs on the board once that initial partnership was set. Yes, Gabaji would be disappointed with the way the middle and the lower order didn't have much contribution. But all in all, I think he would be happy with the score at the innings break. And then going back to the bowling, as we have always stated, Titans have a great bowling lineup. There are some really good bowlers, Parag, Ronnie. Those guys are very difficult, very experienced bowlers. Uh, Gabaji was missing in this game, so otherwise he is a miser as well in terms of the runs he gives. But with the Ronnie and Parag in the mix again with the wickets, it was a very difficult task for FCC to get past these 116 runs. Decent effort at the start again from some of the batters from FCC. But again, FCC last year missed or were saved from a relegation. I think this year again is going to be another one of those seasons where they're going to find it hard to get anywhere close to playoffs. I feel if their goal, probably short term goal at least, should be to win some games so that they stay in Division One.
Yeah, Parthiv, I mean, I don't know. I feel the entire Titans lineup disappointed with the exception of Praveen Dige and Ishan with regards to batting. All right. Not with regards to bowling, but with
Mhm.
regards to batting, Gaba should be very unhappy with this production because it's yet another game where Dige is performing. Well, he's the Damaka de Dige, PDD. Ishan performed, but rest of the team did a disappearing act again in the batting department. This is pretty much very disappointing. But the Titans bowling, if you ask me, that's getting the job done. All right, so that's a good thing for Gaba. Parag and Ronnie were the pick of the bowlers, but the Titans bowling is showing signs of life. Gaba was
Mhm.
attending his son's game. That's why he missed the game. That's what he told us. Now, let me
Mhm.
ask you this question, Parthiv. If this was not FCC, would Gaba have attended his son's game? I was planning to ask him this question, but he didn't show up today. So I can't ask him this question. So I'm going to ask you this question. If it was not FCC, let's say that this game was I don't know. Let's say it was against KRCC or it was against, I don't know, Stars or Glads or whoever it
Mhm.
is. Would
Yeah, I think
where
he would
would
have made
Gaba be? Huh?
he would definitely be on the ground. I think he would have made arrangements to make sure that his son gets to the ground, has the game, whatever he needs. But he would definitely make sure that he is on the DCL ground playing the game. I think the opposition, I think with FCC, I think he might have felt a little comfortable, throwing in, not available option for the team, and taking this opportunity to be with his son. But I know how it feels. I mean, I've done it multiple times, but it gets harder and harder as as the kids are growing up. But as long as he can manage it, I think you know obviously Titans need him badly on the field. So this might be something where he it's a calculated risk or a calculated gamble.
Yeah, my feeling is he would have been there at the game. That's what I also feel. All right. If I had to bet, I think I bet that Mr. Titan, Satish Gaba would have been there. But that's also probably the reason why Titans are on top of Pool A. All right.
Hmm.
So as it stands right now, they are leading Pool A just like they did last year.
Yep. And coming to the next game was something I wanted to bring up even last time and I forgot. But I haven't heard much around the disintegration of MCC Miles. I would love to know, and this is something which I would love someone like KK to be on this call to find out really what happened off season, because I felt like MCC Miles was a strong, really close knit unit. They played multiple tournaments. All of those guys played with each other in multiple tournaments. And whenever I came across Sanjay and Rahul and some of those guys, I always felt like it's hard to kind of crack this team. Uh, and somehow this year the team is completely disintegrated. Sanjay's left. Uh, there's a couple of other guys who I didn't see as well. uh, and it feels like MCC Mile is suddenly very very vulnerable, just like Stars, and but the difference is Stars still has a couple of people in the wings and waiting, but Miles looks like they've lost quite a few of their players. Anybody know the reason, Satya? If you're listening, do you have any insights? What happened?
I'll get Sanjay next week so we can ask him.
From the
He
horse's
said
mouth.
he'll come, so
Okay. Yeah, I would love to
but
know from Sanjay
yeah,
what
I
exactly.
didn't. I exactly don't know
Especially
what
with the
happened, but so
yeah, especially when the skipper leaves. I think that's raises a lot of alarms and flags, right? I mean, if it's a player or
you
two.
should have spoke good about them last year itself, not now.
I mean,
Well, we
Parthu,
always,
I
yeah,
think the
good.
question here is if I'm looking at it from a point of view of Sanjay, Sanjay might have. I do not know if this was a judgment call. That's a question we'll have to ask him next week, and he probably will be ready with an answer because he knows that this might, if he's coming on the show next week, then that this is a question which we might ask him. Did he
Hmm.
leave because he wanted to get a championship and he felt that uh, Pokris, well, he gets along well with them and plays in multiple tournaments? That might be case, but still uh, a question of I want to win a championship, and if I want to win a championship, which team do I get along well with, where I have a better chance, as opposed to staying in Miles and getting to that holy ground. Remember, you did the same thing 1 year with Raptors because I
Right.
think within all of us we have a desire. I had a burning desire to win a championship. All right. And
Mm,
I was willing to sacrifice a lot of things in order to achieve that goal. Of course, some luck plays along the way, but still, the
mhm.
thing is, there is a lot of sacrifice the skipper has to do. But even then, it may not be enough. You get my point. But
Yep.
would you know that, okay, I don't have too much time left and time is running out, and maybe I need to take that window and see if I can get that cup, and if I can get that cup, then that's great. Sometimes calculated gambles work. In Mansup's case, it has worked beautifully. He
Mm,
wanted a T20 championship. He got a T20 championship. He wanted a T40 championship. He got a T40 championship. He wanted a DCL championship. He got a DCL championship. But in all those places, he was a very critical player for all
mm.
those particular teams. But also, luck played a factor, right? I mean, you have to pick the right team. You have to gel well with those people.
Yep.
They want you, and you want them. All these things have to work, but
Mm.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yep. But I think the curious case here is it's not just Sanjay. There's Brahma who's left. There's what when there's Venkatesh Mutineni. I think we talked about him. He was a good performer as well. He's left. So there is quite a few of those
Abhilash,
guys. Who that? Abhilash.
Abhilash.
Yes, Abhilash has left. So there are quite a few guys who have just gone in different directions.
Again,
So
I think Brahma made the decision what is best for Brahma. Probably he realized that GLCC is the team which can get him to the holy grail of DCL, which is winning the championship, and so they give him the best opportunity, and so he took their opportunity, which was available at GLCC. Now, after this week, he might have revised his opinion whether GLCC can get to that holy grail. I already answered that question which Gaba asked last week, whether GLCC can, if anybody could beat GLCC, and I gave a very straightforward answer last week itself.
mm. Yeah, but coming back to this game, this game was a very very one-sided game. Indus Thunders getting the best of their batting uh, and getting past MCC Miles in a hurry. MCC Miles only scoring 48 runs, which until last year, I remember we all used to call whenever we used to talk about MCC Miles, we used to talk about their batting and how they most times. they used to score big. They had some big hundreds in the 25 overs. They generally were, one of the teams that scored pretty heavily. Their bowling was a problem, but this game, it is a reversal of what we would expect from MCC Miles. 48 all out, and then not even troubling Indus Thunders. Indus Thunders, again, they are slowly kind of ramping up with Dinesh's leadership. I think they welcome they'll welcome Praveen Bangera coming back. He's been in and out last year as well. He didn't play much, personal commitments, but I think he's going to be key. And they pretty much have the entire unit as such from last year. So I expect this Indus Thunders to be a strong unit as well. Not much has changed apart from the uh, two guys who've now moved to GLCC, Maulik and Ronak. I think those two guys are going to be missed, but I don't think they really got settled into Indus Thunder's mold. So, uh, not really something that Thunders cannot fill or have a big gap to fill. I think they were surviving and they were doing well without them as well. So, not really anything that impacts them. But this game, I think they just basically did what they always do. Bat well, bowl well, and Manoj and Radhang, did the bulk of the scoring and made sure that they get all the 5 points.
Partho, I'll give a shout out to Abhishek Shankari, 5 overs, one made in 13 runs, 4 wickets. I think that basically took all the mileage out of the miles. That's what it was. He was the pick of the bowlers. There was a Bangera sighting, as we already said. Uh, Again, I think, Partho, do you want to explain the scorecard? 48 for 10 and 61 for 5.
I
Uh,
have no idea why it says like that,
okay,
but
let me give all of DCL the explanation. If you
mm,
go and look at this, and I took some time to analyze the scorecard as to why the scorecard is like this, but I'll tell you what is
mm,
happening here. If you go and look at it, and if you pick up the MCC Miles batting, if you
mm,
go under extras, you'll find the extras as zero. All right. That means Indus Thunders were so phenomenal that you're telling me that Indus Thunders did not bowl a single wide, they didn't bowl a single no ball, they didn't give a single bye. They were that exceptional. Well, you and I know that we are all playing for recreation, and none of us is that exceptional. Maybe the megabytes were the closest thing to being that exceptional on
mm,
the bowling end. But certainly, this Indus Thunders team is not the team which is going to give zero whites. All right. So I
mhm,
said, this doesn't make sense. So I went back and took a look at it ball by ball. And if you go and look at it ball by ball, you will find that Indus bowled 12 whites. All right. At
oh,
48 plus 12, it is 60, which is why Indus Thunders needed to score 61 to win the game. All right.
wow.
Miles bowled 4 wides and gave one bye. But when you go to the Indus Thunder scorecard, you will find that 5 runs is showing up as extras. But whatever Indus was, there was a problem with the scoring app, I guess. So
Hmm.
whatever wides were being recorded, the system was not recording it. And so, sure
Okay.
enough, if you go to MCC Miles, you'll find that they got zero this thing, but they actually in our Indus Thunder friends bowled 12 wides. And so if you gave 60 runs, you have to score 61 runs in order to win the
Mm,
game. So hopefully that explanation will help everybody else understand the scorecard. Otherwise, you might be scratching your head to think
yeah,
what in the world is going on.
yeah, and I think the other reason why I was scratching is because I think in that scorecard it showed that they won by DL, and I
Okay.
was like, it has. I don't think the rain was a factor because the weather was awesome throughout Michigan. So I was confused as to what the DL meant, but now it makes sense. I think there's a glitch. Those 12 runs were not showing up on the scorecard, the wides. So the total should have been 60 instead of 48.
Yeah, and remember, I asked this in the community, and nobody gave a proper
Mm,
answer. I said, you know what, this Vamsi said there was a glitch, but I did not know what that glitch means, and that's when I said, you know what, I need to analyze this scorecard. But again, Parthiv, this is the difference which we do on this show. We
mm,
actually do a proper analysis to figure out why something is something the way it is.
mm. All right, let's go on to the next game. The next game was the upset of the week, uh, especially considering the drubbing that strikers had the previous week, and I'll use that word, the double drubbing, with the Detroit Bulls hammering them for 238. So it was, I would say, it was, the moral wasn't high. The team, we, after the game that we had against Bulls, people, a lot of the players were really upset. We were in this season looking for players. We've been trying to get in new faces, trying to maybe get some new energy going. This game, I think we got a couple of good additions. One is Badsha. He's really good student, uh, great, tall off spinner, and somehow we've been able to almost create a nursery of spinners in the team. Our attack at one point of time, I remember, was full of medium pacers like me and Jagan, and used to be Sailesh, and a lot of people who used to bowl, just wicket to wicket, medium pace. We rarely had, like Minesh probably threw his arm over as a spinner, but we really didn't have spinners. And now we have, you say it, and we've got everything. We've got a left arm spinner, we've got an off spinner, we've got a leg spinner. We've got pretty much all the variety that you can think about in terms of spin, and that actually has now become our biggest strength. That our spinners are difficult to hit. I mean, we all know that these wickets and these grounds that we play in, uh, it's hard to kind of create pace. You and we are at that stage where we're not like the Virat Kohlis or Rohit Sharma, where we can basically just generate shots. We need, the more the pace or the help we get from the bowlers, the easier it becomes to score. But in case of spinners, you really have to read, and apply, get to the pitch of the ball, get to the line, make sure you have enough power. Otherwise, you are into that trap, and that's exactly what happened with GLCC. I think GLCC, and I was talking with Samish after the game. These new additions, what has now formed of GLCC is like a very one-dimensional unit. If you see some of the players, they've got some really good hitters. So on a day, they can basically score 200 plus easily, if it's their day. Like their likes of Maulik and Rona, Gagan Singh, Akash himself, Hemant can hit, Navpreet can hit, Brahma obviously at the top, he can hit. So they've got a lot of big hitting machines. But I think what they have probably now realized is they're missing the likes of Ashraf, Ajit, those kind of guys who used to provide that stability in the middle order. They knew how to play the DCL game. They knew those twos and those ones, which were missing in this game. I think just like how, uh, the Glads game the previous year, when we got the better of you guys, of people holding out in the deep, it was exactly like that. GLCC, from ball one, they tried to hit our. And one thing which I think the captain did really well this time around after two games is we started with Kapil. So we had pace and spin in tandem. And Kapil, he was exceptional on the day. I mean, unbelievable. They were really, everyone struggled, and he had impeccable line and length. Even the scorecard, even though it shows 3 wickets, it's 4 wickets. He could have easily, if he had a couple of more overs, he could have got even more wickets in his tally. But all in all, I think, we got the better of GLCC, I think, because our body language and the way we started. We were there at 8 o'clock, very hungry, very, very, in that mood of trying to prove that we belong here. Because I think there was a doubt now created after the drubbing that we got last year, that, do we even belong here? So this game, even though it's still a long season and we still have a lot of big games to go, at least gives us that self belief that yes, we can win and we can beat the best, and we're here for a reason. So I felt, even when I'm batting, I went to the captain and said, I'm going to go and open, because this is a game that is very special to me, no matter what. GLCC, playing GLCC has always brought the best out of me, and somehow that feeling, that confidence just overflows, and I always felt like, I tend to be in that zone whenever I play them. So I went and opened the batting. We had a great partnership with Sarvesh, and I think from there on, there wasn't much of a hiccup. I think we chased it relatively easily, very calmly. We knew that we didn't have to play the big shots. It was right in my alley, and all in all, I think it was a great win, and we continue to kind of be that monkey on the back of Samish still. I would say.
Yeah, Parthiv, you have always had some good success against GLCC. This is why Samish should have joined strikers so that he could get the monkey off his back. All right. Did you
Right.
by chance? Did you by chance remind him? Hey, I called you to be a part of this thing. See, you could have been on part of the winning team.
Well, he knows the doors is always there. It's something
Parag,
that
you
he
sorry, Parthiv, you should have shown him this thing and said, "See, Samish, you're just bowling one over. Really, you're bowling one over? I mean, you would have come to our team. You would have done better." Parthiv, do you know? Explain the term Achilles heel. Do you know that term?
Yes, I do know that term. Yes.
Okay.
That's
Do you know the Greek mythology behind it? The story behind it?
that's I don't know the story. I know what it means in terms of when you use it in context. That's basically means
Okay.
that like a
Can I
nemesis.
can I can I explain the Greek mythology story so that you understand
Please.
how the term Achilles heel came about? So that
Yes.
the next time that word is used, all of DCL, if they did not know the story, can relate the story to that term. All right.
Hmm.
Well, in Greek mythology, there was a person by the name of Achilles, and he was the bravest and the handsomest and the greatest warrior in the Greek army. And the
Mm.
Greeks had attacked Troy. Now, you remember Troy, that's where the
Yep.
Trojan horse was. Remember, for
Mhm.
10 years, they battled and tried to take Troy, and they were not able to take Troy because it was well fortified. That's when they came up with this idea of the Trojan horse, which they left outside the city gates. All right. Well, the war
Mm.
went on for 9 years, and during that war, Achilles ravaged the entire countryside around Troy. He took about 12 cities and captured them. And legend has it that when Achilles was born, his mother dipped him as a child in the river Styx with the intention that whatever portion is dipped in the water, he would be absolutely invulnerable. All right. So the
Oh,
mother
okay.
caught him by his heel and dipped him. And so when he was dipped into the river, the entire body was covered in the water except for that heel portion. All right. And
Wow.
then what happened is nothing could touch Achilles. You could do whatever you want. He was untouchable. And that's why he was such a great warrior.
Mm.
Every part that was submerged in the water was invulnerable. But because the heel was not dipped in the water, that was
Mm.
one vulnerable area. Well, in the 10th year of battle, there was an expertly guided arrow, Parthav, an expertly guided arrow. It hit Achilles in that heel, and that cost his death. All right. Now,
Wow.
why did I bring this story? Because what is GLCC's Achilles heel? Well, they have the same Achilles heel which Glads have. Well, strikers exposed the Achilles heels of Glads 2, 3 years ago in a playoff game and took us apart. Well, the slow spin attack did the job done, got the job done once again. So, who is Achilles in this story, Parthiv? Well, Achilles in this story is GLCC because they were the untouchable foe. So much so that my friend Gaba had to ask me, can anyone beat GLCC? And he would have been shocked when I told him, well, I think they can be beaten and they can be beaten easily. And the team to really beat is the KRCC team.
Mm.
Who is Paris? Paris is the one who shot the arrow, all right? Well, if you ask me, Paris and the arrow, all right, we need to find out who is Paris in the story. Paris in the story is none other than your friend Kapil, because with his gentle off spin, he got the damage done and he struck GLCC where it hurt. All right. What is death? Death in this case is GLCC got defeated decisively. Who is Paris's father? Paris's father was a person by the name of Priam. And Priam is the one who goes out after the battle, after Achilles is killed. Priam is the one who goes out and captures the enemy. Well, who is Priam in the story, Parthiv? Priam in the story, well, somebody did the shooting the arrow. I told you that it was our friend Kapil who shot the arrow and wounded the enemy and delivered the mortal blow. So who is the Priam who goes and captures the spoils? Who, Parthiv?
I guess it would be me.
That's right, Parthiv. Do you see the similarity? Priam
Yes.
starts with the letter P. Parthiv also starts with the letter P. You see how I lined up the story so beautifully?
That's
It is
nice.
you, Parthiv. You went and did the rest. You got the
Yep.
job done. You opened the batting and got the job done. KK is the best player of spin on that GLCC team. When KK comes to the lineup, Vinayak Kamble runs for his life, all right? But there was no KK in this game. In a game which they thought that they can win decisively because they had already beaten you guys so badly last year, I think they
Yep.
overlooked it. And no KK in this game. KK was doing gardening. And that was
Well, I
another
think
blunder. Well, he can sit and garden all he wants, but all you have is you have gardened a loss at this point, Parthiv, because in the most critical game where the best player of spin should have been there, he was not there in the lineup. The best they could get was Ronak scoring 17 runs and Gagan's King scoring 15. The rest of the team did squat. They did squat on the batting end. They had nothing. No, they had no clue on how to play you guys. And you guys took them to the cleaners. But this is what happens when you lose the game. You'll have to face the music. Kaushik Chapadi, KK, and everybody who is constructed this magnificent team, which was the talk of the town preseason. So much so that my friend Gaba had to ask me who in the world can beat GLCC. Well, they are not immortal anymore. They have been given the death blow and they have been delivered a loss. I believe only Fighters and probably one other team, maybe Raptors, if I'm not mistaken. They are the only
Raptors.
two. They are the only two undefeated teams in Pool A. There is no undefeated team. Everybody has taken a loss. But
Yep.
that's what happens. I mean,
And
but
I think the
again,
other thing,
congrats to strikers.
yep, absolutely. And I think one other thing which I think has exposed, apart from that slow bowling and spin bowling, is the lack of variety on GLCC's attack. I think that's another one. Like they bowled, I think they bowled what, seven or eight bowlers. All of them, if you look at them, bowl pretty much similar in nature. I was expecting, because our slower bowlers bowled well, I was expecting more of Navpreet, but he too starts to get a lot more fastish than spin. He doesn't really flight the ball. He doesn't use the pitch that much. He's more of a kind of an Anil Kumble, kind of gets it in really fast. If you miss it, you're out. I was expecting Ronak to be given a shot because I know he bowls, kind of that medium pace. He could be dangerous on some of these wickets. But even if with those two guys, I think still, if you look at it, GLCC doesn't have the variety that probably would make them a champion team. I think they don't have any express bowlers. at the top fast bowlers, nor do they have any slow options as well. Everyone is pretty much military medium, and I mean good bowlers, but still doesn't have the variety that a
Parthiv,
champion
last
team.
week I remember to Gaba, I answered and said GLCC's bowling is there to be taken to the cleaners. And that's
Yep.
exactly what you did 1 week later. That's exactly, if you look at it, this was such a one-sided game. You took care of 6 to 7 runs in what, 16.5 overs?
Hmm.
Easy peasy kind of a thing. Their bowling is not going to get the job done. Let's be frank. Their batting will have to get the job done. Their bowling cannot get the job done.
Also, I think they made 64 in just 14.5 overs, so they left behind 10 overs, which I feel was a cardinal sin, really, to leave behind 10
Yeah,
overs.
but the thing is that they probably can learn a lot from bulls and
Yep.
pokeries and fighters
Hmm.
and raptors. They four teams who milk all 25 overs.
Yep. All right, let's. That does it for our Division One. We have a couple of three games that we are going to cover for Division Two. The first one I have on my list is Deccan Chargers versus Racha Riders. Deccan Chargers, I think, is a new team, but what a performance they had this week. 45 from Kishore Rivaru and Tejeshwar scoring his 50. Really, I mean, I think most of us picked Racha Riders based on last year's performances that they had. I mean, they showed a lot of promise last year, and I was expecting this to be, frankly, a one-sided game and Racha Riders to win it, but it wasn't to be. Deccan Chargers batting first scored that 128 runs, and when you score those many runs, it's always going to be hard for any team, no matter even if the team is better than you or is you know a level above you. It is going to take some effort to score those many runs. And Raja Riders, even though I felt like they were in the game, always in the game until Raja Gopal was batting, uh, those 20, 30 runs that they gave always fell a little too much. Uh, Deccan Chargers were very, very generous to Raja Riders. They gave 27 extras. Had it not been for these extras, I think Deccan Chargers could have won the game even more easily. But all in all, I think it was a very comprehensive and a nice win for Deccan Chargers.
Parthiv, you know what? This game, when I looked at the scorecard and analyzed it, I think we might have we have the game changer of the week, but I think
Hmm.
the captain of the week is the Deccan Chargers captain, and I'll explain to you why I think that way. All right. But first, let me come to Racha Riders. Racha Riders won a close game last week.
Hmm.
They have performed very well in the past, but what the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. And a win was given last week, but this week the win was taken away. If you ask me, Parthiv, the game was decided on 2 overs, and it's not even 2 overs, Parthiv. It was decided on 8 balls. Go
Mm.
and take a look at the scorecard. Over number 23, 17 runs went. Over number 25, 18 runs went. That is 35 runs in two
Mm.
overs, both bowled by Ramakrishna. Now,
Mm.
you can't blame the skipper for giving the ball to Ramakrishna, and I'll tell you why. All right, I'm not blaming the Racha Rider skipper, because if I am the Racha Rider skipper, I probably would have made the same decision, because
Right.
Ramakrishna in 3 overs had only given 5 runs and given and taken 1 wicket. When
Mm.
a
Yep.
guy has bowled 3 overs and given only 5 runs, you can't blame the skipper for giving him the ball, because that's one of your best bowlers. Let's give him the ball. But you probably did not see 17 runs going in over number 23 and 18 runs going in over number 25. Now, over number 24, only 5 runs went, because a bowler by the name of Himanshu, who had a fantastic game with the ball, all right, he bowled 5 overs, 11 runs, and 1 wicket. So he was phenomenal. But if you look at it, Parthiv, 29 runs came in the space of 8 balls.
Yep.
Dot, 6, 1, 6, a double, 6, 6. In 8 balls, 29 runs, and that was the ball game. If you ask me, Racha Riders miss Subhash Mamidi. Last week, he was the man of the match, and he was phenomenal. But nevertheless, Racha Riders gave only 5 extras, Parthiv, so their bowlers did the job. But Deccan Chargers, I think their captain did a number. Now, Kishore Ravaru, if you look at it, last week also played very well. I would call him Mr. Consistency because this week again he has played very well. But look at the scorecard, Parthiv. It says retired out at 45. Now, when somebody is 5 runs short of 50, would you retire
Wow.
the person out? All right. Nobody retires out at 45, Parthiv. You want to score a 50. Almost every Tom, Dick, and Harry
Right.
who has a little bit of pride will say, I want to get my 50. I don't want to get retired out. But I think the captain said, nothing doing, you're going to come out. So when did this happen? This happened in over number 22.1, Parthiv. That's that
Yeah.
23rd over, which went for 17 runs. And guess
Hmm.
what? That's when Typhoon Tejaswar. So his
Yeah.
name was Tejaswar. So I had to use the word Typhoon so that we can get the double T in there, TT,
Hmm.
Typhoon Tejaswar. 50 runs in 61 balls, Parthiv. 1 4 and 3 6s. And then came Superstorm Sai Sriya. So this time I've got 4 S's in a row, Parthiv. The letter S, Superstorm Sai Sriya, 20 runs in 7 balls, and he hit 3 6s, Parthiv. These two guys
Wow.
did all the damage in the last 3 overs after our friend Kishore Raviru was retired out. This was
Now,
a calculated gamble by the captain. So you have to give the captain all the credit because Sai
absolutely.
Marasani should be declared the captain of the week. We have the game changer of the week. But if you look at the scorecard, I feel the captaincy of the week or maybe even the season is this job, what this Sai
Wow.
Marasani. And if I am not mistaken, Sai Marasani was the captain of SSK last year. And
Yes,
remember,
you are.
after he took over the captaincy, SSK went to places which they had never gone before. In other
Yep.
words, Sai knows what he is doing. Sai Marasani is a fabulous captain. Now, obviously, I have never seen Sai Marasani or ever talked with him, but I have only respect for him. And if he stood in front of me, I would give him a salute and say, you know what? You have a microprocessor or a supercomputer for a brain. What a move. Absolutely brilliant move. This is the
But
captaincy of the week. And 88 for 3, Parthiv, at the end at 22.1 when our friend Kishore Raviru was retired. When he was retired, it was 22.1. That is the third wicket, retired out. And then it went from 88 for 3 to 128 for 5. Without having 128, Rachia Riders win this game. So actually speaking, it is not Rachia Riders losing the game. All right. It
yep.
is Sai Marasani and Deccan Chargers actually going out there and seizing control of the game and taking the victory out of the jaws of defeat. That's exactly what happened. Take that.
Wow. Yeah, I that's a keen observation. That's something which I'm not sure anybody would have noticed unless you actually study the scorecard. So that's fabulous analysis. First of all, but second, and now I'm starting to put myself in his shoes. If I'm on 45, batting at almost 90 strike rate, so I'm not slow by any means by DCL standards. That is an exceptional move to make, to actually give yourself away like that 50, as
Could
you
be
said.
injured, Parthiv. I don't know, right?
Yeah, that was another question which I had is, can we verify this? Because if it's true that he actually used that retired out, because I don't think I've seen it used that much. I mean, I don't know if somebody has used it, but
Parthiv,
uh
if he was injured, it is not retired out. That's
yes, but
why I
I
called.
mean, yeah,
That's
I
why
mean,
I'm calling it the way I called it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the scorecard, it makes sense. But I'm also very not very confident on the on the folks who have entered the scorecard. If retired hurt and retired out was interchanged in for by accident, so
Parthiv, if the analysis is the way it is, that it was a captain's call to
it makes
retire
sense.
him
The
out,
way you explained, yeah,
then DCL needs to give him, I don't know, Captain of the Year award at the end of the season. This was a absolutely brilliant move. I don't think most people would even think of this.
absolutely. I don't think
But
anybody.
now that I have said this, now there might be many captains who might start thinking along these lines.
But again, I think again I'm trying to figure out like how would he know? Like unless he knows that that guy is phenomenal in terms of he can bat at 200% strike rate because as I said.
I think Sai Sriya is a phenomenal hitter of the ball. If I remember from last year,
Hmm.
so he might. I don't you think that if Glads have an opportunity, we were going to send Hardeep and Mansab out into the middle. We would send Taif into the middle. We would send Arjun into the middle if
But,
push came to
but
shove. But before we would send those four guys out there to go out and
but
whack the ball.
but to send it when your existing batsman, let's pick up somebody who bats in the top or the middle order, somebody who's batting at 90% strike rate, would you take him out to get a Mansab butt in? That's the question.
Yeah, so that's where I think this is where that's why I said captain of the week award. You get my point. I mean,
Okay.
a normal person will not do it.
Sounds, yeah,
But
sounds
but
cool.
if Sai Marasani did it deliberately, I mean, I have to. I don't know. Parthiv, I have very little hair. I might have to shave that hair also off. All right, I can't grow
Well,
it, so I'll have to take that also off in respect for that guy.
well, if I ever come across him on the ground, or if anybody comes across him, or anybody knows him, definitely from our community or people who are listening to our show, definitely try to see if we can get in touch with him and
So he
find
is
this.
leading the top in the statistics. So in the
Oh,
division.
So see, I told you he was a big hitter of the ball.
wow.
So
All right, early, but still, yep.
Yeah, but can you pull up last year's stats? I think you will see that he is a big hitter of the ball last year too. This is not an accident, is what I felt.
Last year, which team was he playing? Because this,
yeah.
Sai Sriya, see that 222. What is it? What is
Oh,
the strike rate?
this
let's just
is this is overall points.
No, no,
right.
we want the strike rate.
Yeah, you can filter or just to control FC if he's there.
Get in SSK.
Mhm.
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
What's the strike
125.
rate? 125.
yeah, that's pretty decent overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 125 for an entire season is pretty
Yeah,
strong,
yeah, very
pretty
good.
good
Yeah,
strike rate, especially
very
in
good.
DCL.
Yep. Wow. Yep. Definitely want to verify whether this is an exceptional strategy. Yeah. All right, let's go into the next game. The next game was a nail biter in the sense nail biter not in the sense that it was close, but the amount of runs that were scored between Phantoms and Punjab Scorpions. Once Phantoms put up that massive 156 in 25 overs, I think most of us and most of everyone who was following on the scorecard would have thought, they had enough to get past Punjab Scorpions. But little did we know that Punjab Scorpions, and they have been a very unpredictable team as well. They've got some really good batsmen in the form of Inderpreet Singh, they've Mandeep Singh, our money, uh, and I think there was one other person who was missing here as well from last year. Was it Mahipat? I forget his name, but he used to score quite a bit as well until for Punjab Scorpions, and they've always been that the team that scores really fast and that they're capable of hitting the big sixes as well. In this match, as you can see, they scored it in 23.5 overs. Yes, they missed the bonus point, which I'm not sure if they knew about it, because if they have not calculated that that might come and bite them, because they had only 5 wickets down and they chased it in 23.5 overs. I think they could have calculated it and made sure that they get the bonus point, because I think they might have missed it by an over or two, or maybe a over and a half, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, a win is a win. And Punjab Scorpions, especially considering the amount of runs they gave bowling first, and I think you had mentioned, Viju, in the WhatsApp, they were playing with 9 folks to begin with.
Yeah, I asked this
Field,
question in our community. Is Punjab Scorpions playing with nine? And you know why I asked that question, Parthiv? You know,
mm,
I hate predicting against phantoms because I always have a principle that, you know what, if the team has good management and a good skipper, try your best not to predict against them. Now, Phantoms were going against Scorpions, and I know the Scorpions have some game changing players. All right. So I said, well, I need to do some catch up. So I need to take a gamble because I know that the smart money is on Phantoms. So maybe I need to go against the smart money. And Parthiv, you ever had buyer's remorse? Did you?
yes, a lot of
Oh, you,
times.
all right. Parthiv, I went once to Hyderabad to attend a funeral of my cousin who was younger than me. He died in Hyderabad. So I went in the morning by flight to Hyderabad. I attended the funeral. I was walking back to catch a cab to go back to the airport. On the way, I saw some beautiful Banganpalli mangoes. And you know, I'm a sucker for mangoes, and I love mangoes, especially the Banganpalli variety. So I got
Mm,
5 kilos of mangoes and, you know, carried it and lugged it all the way back to Chennai. I ate the first mango and I had buyer's remorse. Why did I bring that up? Because I'll tell you why. Because I had predictor's remorse, Parthiv.
mm,
Because for the second week in a row, I was betting against Phantoms and I was cursing myself because when I saw that Scorpions had 9 players, I was absolutely cursing myself, saying that, you know what a blunder. Why did I even want to take a risk? Go with the smart management, the good quality management. Why did I have to take a chance? But you know what? After seeing that game and the way the game ended, I was doing balle, because really I was doing absolute money, balle. Now, Parthiv, if you are given a chance to defend 156 against an opposition and the opposition has only 9 players, you know that only 8 of them can bat, right? I mean, the ninth
yeah,
wicket, basically, that you're 2 less players to bundle out. Any skipper will take it. I don't think there was
yep,
anything which Rajesh did wrong. Arun, Krishna, Rohit, and Nitin. Nitin had a fantastic 44 in a 25. It was an absolute blitzkrieg. And I'm sure when they went in at the break, thinking 156, I'm thinking that is more than enough. I mean, I would have said 156 is more than enough.
yep,
And I felt, the only question was, are they going to win by 100 runs or something like that? And then the
yep,
next thing I know, 156 is also the second highest score of the week, Parthiv, and they still lost the game. You know what, Parthiv? You remember Andre Agassi and Pete
yes,
Sampras? They had plenty of duels. And
yep,
Andre Agassi always said this: if I bring my A game and Pete Sampras brings his A game, I will always lose. I can beat anybody in the world, but I cannot beat Pete Sampras if he's playing at his best and I'm playing
yep,
at my best. I will lose the game. And sure enough, you'll find that in all the Grand Slam finals, when the game is on the line and Pete Sampras brought his A game, Agassi
yep,
could not do anything because the racket was taken out of his hand. And Parthiv, that's exactly what happened here. This was money week in DCL. It was Mansab Butt, this was Mandeep Singh, and then Mani Singh, and then you throw in an Indrapreet Singh. It was money. I don't know if you remember that. There was an ABBA track long time back. Money must be funny in a rich man's world. This was money. It was must be funny in the DCL world, Parthiv. And I
mm,
was not trying to pick against any team who has a quality skipper. I only took a chance on Mani Singh and company. But if you had told me they will be playing with 9 people, I no way in my dreams also I would have picked them. But let me tell you, this was some balle firepower. It was absolutely fantastic. This thing. My judgment was clouded. Then I saw the 9 players. I said, you know what? Abdul Kalam once said, if I want to shine like a sun, I must first burn like a sun. I
Right.
would say
Yep.
if you want to play a sting like a scorpion, I'm just going to borrow that line. If you want to sting like a scorpion, first dig your tentacles deep into the phantom and give him a sting. And that's how you take down the phantom.
Nice. That was well used. But I just got an update from our insider, KK. He's listening to our show, and if he basically gives us the update on that game, the Phantoms versus Racha Riders, it was the cramps that made him retired on 45. So even though it was a
Okay.
fantastic piece of
So
analysis,
we can't give Masarani the Captain of the Week award. Is that what you're saying? Basically,
well,
KK is saying that I'm cooking up chicken biryani and mutton biryani. All right, guys. But how do I know? It said retired out. But then why is he saying retired out? If it's cramps, then why is it retired out?
I'm sure somebody while putting in the scoring card made that error because it could have, there's both options, retired hurt and retired out. So somebody might have just selected retired out. But the story which you mentioned makes much more sense now. I'm pretty sure that now if he's listening to the show, now he must be thinking, yeah, I should have said that.
See, so, our Marasani friend lost a good opportunity to have one of the greatest thinking captaincy decisions of all time.
Well, KK caught him off guard. I'm pretty sure KK reached out to him before he could hear the show, and he found out. All right, let's go to the last game of the week. That's the FCC Agni versus Motor City. Now, this was a low-scoring thriller. FCC Agni. I'm sure Ramesh would have not thought about, whether this team would have win the game after scoring 53 and then that too, the extras being the highest score. If you look at that scorecard, it's almost like a phone number. Single digits throughout, 12 being the highest score. Pretty much a lackluster performance from FCC Agni. But to actually come out and then defend that score is an exceptional effort. I mean, yes, you were down, scoring only those 53 runs, but then to come back with
Abdullah Naeem. Oh, looks like we lost our friend Parthiv. Well,
Yeah,
if
just
we
finish
have
it.
lost him, let me finish it. It was a low-scoring affair. Abdullah Naeem was the man of the moment, and he set the city ablaze, and he gutted the motor of the Motor City. But this was a dismal scorecard, and with that, we'll finish it. I'll also just cover Blasters versus Marvels. I picked Marvels, but Blasters blasted me. And the wrecker in chief was my good friend Philip Thomas. He laid it out to me: 4 overs, 14 runs, 3 wickets. The wrecker in chief. He made sure that my prediction was absolutely wrong. So when I have friends like Philip Thomas to wreck me, I don't think I need too many enemies too. But with that, I think we should go on to the next segment. What is the next
Yeah.
segment,
We'll
Satya?
go for the predictions and other
Okay.
stuffs. But the game changer of the week is Kapil.
Yep, game changer of
We'll
the week
just
is
announce
Kapil.
him.
Absolutely fabulous performance. But for the benefit of the entire audience, Satya, would you be able to play the catch of the week? It was taken
Uh,
by, I don't know how old is Kapil, but he's
Satya, can
certainly
you hear
over.
me?
yes,
Now we
now.
can hear you. We're gonna play couples catch of the week, Parthiv. It was the catch of the week, which got rid of Hitesh. I believe Hitesh was the batsman. I think I didn't think that catch would be taken. But how old is Kapil? He's certainly over 40, as far as I can tell. Parthiv, he can't hear
Um,
me.
What happened?
Okay.
Wait,
Well,
yes.
I'm
come back.
able to hear you, but you're not able to hear us. Okay. Well,
Okay.
we don't know
Let
the answer.
me
But whatever it is,
run it.
go ahead and play the game. Play that catch of the week. Our friend Parthiv is at keeping.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep. Did you see
Oh,
the catch of the week, Parthiv?
that was a fantastic catch. Considering Kapil has all kinds of issues with his back, knees, we almost put up almost tease him as the most fragile player in DCL. He's
How
got
old
like
is he?
issues.
How old is he, Parthiv?
He's 45. He and I like
45.
are
Okay.
separated up by months, but yeah, but he's more fragile than me. Like he gets
Oh,
like into some sort of body aches, this ache, that ache, every single for him to stretch and get that ball, that is exceptional. So
yeah. That was the game-changing moment of the game. Hitesh is a very good batsman, so getting rid of him that cheap was definitely deserving of the award. So 4 wickets for Kapil. He had
yep.
a fantastic outing. Mansab Butt with 5 wickets had a fantastic outing, and Abdullah Naeem with 4 wickets had a fantastic outing. I don't think we had too many big performances with the bat that we can take away, but I think the strikers upset of GLCC was the talk of the town. So we decided to give the game changer of the week to the old guy because we do not know when he can get that same award again. So we might as well give it to him when we have the opportunity to give it to him. So congrats, Kapil, and please claim the award from Satya. That's all you have to do. Give him a buzz or send him a text or something like that and claim the award, and you get $25. And what is the deal, Satya? With this cap also goes with it, or the
Yes.
cap was
Yes.
just for so every game changer gets a game changer of the week cap
Yes.
and $25.
Yes.
Oh my God, the Happy Feet Dance Academy is really generous. I mean, they have gone beyond what I expected from them. So, can you please send out a big shout out to Nishant and company who own Happy Feet Dance Academy? We are saying Balle Balle on behalf of them.
So it's
Yep.
supposed to be we have to take picture and put it in prime time, but last week Tanmay is out of station and probably possibly like Kapil at least will take a picture and post it. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, if couple has to dance, then I think Dance Academy is in trouble.
we'll make him dance also. Okay, so here is the prediction. Let's go fast. Five minutes
Yeah.
over the time.
All right,
So,
let's go to the predictions. If you can zoom in a little bit, or maybe I
okay.
can.
Uh, what? I have to see where is the joke. Okay.
Can I? Sure.
Where is the zoom in this? Okay, here. Oh,
All right. All right. So let's look at the SLCC legends and Raptors. I think pretty much almost a majority of them is
everybody
with
legends.
legends. That is surprising considering Raptors is unbeaten.
Yeah, but it's
Surprising.
only 60-40, Parthiv, so it's pretty close if you ask me.
Hmm.
11,
Yep. How many?
7.
Okay, so
Total 18 recorded. So
Yeah, so it might be 10 votes to 8 votes.
it's 11 and 7.
Oh, 11
11
and
and
7. Okay.
still
Okay.
close, but I think yeah.
Yeah.
Considering okay. All
So
right.
it's
Let's look at
15 knockers and 3 hawks.
the shocking part is the local boys versus stars. Look at that.
Yeah, so that
Local
many
boys.
predictions for local boys tells us that people are saying that the stars are toast. That's what it's
Yep.
telling me, right?
Yep.
I mean, usually it should be heavily in favor of Stars.
They
That's
are in the
true. I mean,
last position as of today. So,
Yeah, I know, but that's two
but
games, and you're
yeah,
telling me that based on two games, all right.
the Thunders, I think it's
100 volts and miles. Look at that. That is also a kind of a surprising prediction.
yeah.
No,
I mean,
because Miles have not been are in the show me stage. They have to show us something before people are going to get on the Miles bandwagon, if they will get on the bench.
Dynamite's heavy, 15 knots.
yeah.
Oh, I
I
think I think Vijay is going to have maybe 5 rounds of drinks after this, because last week he was upset that he was not getting enough love from the prime time. I don't know if it's a prime time gang or the general public.
The Deccan Chargers, Farmington Risers, Deccan Chargers is heavy again.
yeah, especially after this week's
And
performance. Yep.
Yeah.
Spartan.
Spartans, Royal Spartans all the way after hitting
Right.
that 100 plus run. Royal Challengers and Michigan Mavericks. So Royal Challengers is heavy like 14.
Yeah, I
So
think nobody knows Michigan Mavericks. I guess everybody voted for the known team.
yeah, Racha Riders Agni. It's close, but Agni is getting more than Riders. So 13 to 5. Wow, wow. Guardians versus Master Blasters
Yeah.
50-50.
Hmm. That
Satya,
is
you got to fix these colors because
That's automatic, Vijay. I didn't fix it.
but
It
how is
just
it
come
showing the same
automatic.
colors?
It
like,
is,
but
I don't know how
so
it is
how do we
coming. Let me
how
check.
do we know that who's how many people for Avengers and how many people for Gujarat Warriors? Oh,
It's
Gujarat
13
Warriors
and
72.
5.
Okay, 13 and 5. Okay.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
so I'll try to change this person to value, so that might be work. So let me check that. So Detroit
No.
Eagles 12,
Percent is okay. It's
Marvel.
just the color which is
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think that, yeah, two different colors. I think that will help.
yeah, let
yeah.
me check how to do it. So Canton Hurricanes 15, Phantoms 3, Punjab
Hmm.
Scorpion 14, and Columbus no love for Tejas Santagowda 4.
Yep.
MI Rangers all the way 18.
Isn't Tejas Shantegowda in the lead in the predictions or somewhere close to the top?
Yeah.
Mm,
He's
Okay.
pretty.
it could be. So this is
I
our
think he
prediction.
was second when I saw. I think
Yes,
Mahesh
yes,
Babu
Yeah,
was
there
third.
second.
there yeah.
Yeah.
Vamsi fourth. Imtiaz coming back strong. So Sheikh
Man, I've
Muhammad
dropped.
is involving a little bit more both sides, fantasy and also predictions. So
Who?
Sheikh
Sheikh Mohammed,
Mohammed,
is it?
yeah, local boys. So
Okay.
local boys guy. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and Raghu is almost there. Couple of him. Scorpions, where is Scorpion? He's not coming up.
Where is Vicky? Vicky is nowhere to be seen.
He's
Oh yeah, there he
28.
is.
Oh, Vicky is trailing. And that too is
Yeah.
trailing his good friend Palaniswamy. That's a problem.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's some fantasy coming up for picks like Manoj Singh and Elumalai is leading, but only I got 3 teams for now. Let's see at the end of the week. So that's last week's Apatakar is at 150 only. So yeah, so that's our
Who is
last week.
Apatakar?
I don't know. I have to see
Okay.
who is.
Okay. All right.
But KK is at 16. So yep. Okay, now ours. So here is our prediction. So it's
Interesting.
Legends 3, Raptors 2,
Oh, that is interesting.
Knockers all the way, everybody. Local Boys 3 and Stars 2. You asked where is the vote coming from? Here only. So
You guys
Yeah,
are
but
going with
see,
local boys.
no, but
Wow.
see, some of it is, trying to play catch up and trying to, take a chance somewhere.
Wow, that is a bold prediction from both of you guys. All three of you guys. Hmm. Yeah,
Thunders all the way. So yeah.
MCC Miles. Okay, you still believe
Oh,
Satya?
Satya believes still in MCC Miles. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. Whatever I saw of Thunderbolts was pretty good last week, is what I felt.
Thunderbolts is good, so we'll see. So Dynamites, is FCC no love. So Deccan Charges 4 and Rises. Chetan,
Coming.
come on. Spartans
He
all the
doesn't
way.
even know. I'm sorry, he doesn't even know.
Oh no, I picked Michigan Mavericks. You guys picked Royal Challengers, did right?
Oh, maybe. Do you know anything more that we don't know about Mavericks? I mean, I have no idea.
I don't know. Let me see. Agni Racha Riders. I thought Racha Riders okay then Agni, but it's on the day who comes on Agni. That's the problem. Racha Riders is a pretty solid team. So
Yeah, I think so. But I think of Agni, I think somehow Ramesh gets talent from somewhere.
yeah, that's the problem. He gets the talent from somewhere for that day, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't know who you will get next day. So Guardians, Master Blasters. So I went with Master Blaster. So
Wow. Satya's definitely taking a chance this week, huh?
we
Lot of
you have to give hand for Philip. So
yeah. Lot
we'll
of
see with you
gambling.
again. He picked against Philip. I don't know what will happen. So the Avengers, Gujarat Warriors. Again, I'm standing by Gautam.
Wow.
So
Wa- Gujarat Warriors is such a I mean, where is that guy?
Gopal
Uh
Patel.
yeah, Gopal Patel. He's not
He didn't play. He didn't play last week.
yeah. I
So
wonder if he's
I picked Gujarat Warriors thinking he'll play this week, Partha.
hmm,
I
okay.
feel Venu and the other guy who plays for Avengers. Oh, everywhere I am opposite Detroit Eagles and Marvels. Like,
Well,
okay.
this either you're gonna go rocket to the top or you're gonna go right to the bottom, I feel this week.
Yeah, see, now here is the thing. Canton Hurricanes Phantoms. So you would have thought that there would have been more votes for the Phantoms, you know. I'm taking a chance. I felt just like I don't know. Every week it has been very tough. Maybe Phantoms get all easier opponents after this, but last week was a tough opponent. The week before that was a tough opponent. They won that game, but last week I don't know. Scorpions was. I guess after Scorpions did that, nobody's good except Chetan would pick against.
No, no, all are in Scorpions. So I
Was
just
it?
put who is against two.
Oh,
So
okay, all right, got it.
Yeah.
all are in MI Rangers against
Correct.
Elite Leos. So yeah,
Yes.
that's our prediction. So
I think Elite Leos might be trying to achieve something elite in the most
uh,
unlikely category, which is not getting any wins at the
the
way
new
it is
team,
going.
they have to
Yeah.
start like how Marvels and other teams started. So then
Yeah,
they'll
the
catch.
first couple of years are gonna be tough for these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But if they
So
can survive those, like Pokris did, then you'll start to see some benefits.
yep.
But
So that.
are we no longer doing the showcase game of the week for the show?
Oh, we are not doing right now. So
We probably should do it, but for that we need somebody to also be willing to be game enough to come, right? If you,
Yeah.
I see no point in doing a showcase game of the week
we
where
could have pulled
the principal
Raptors.
parties are not willing to sit down and do some promotion on their own.
I
You
think
see?
yeah, I think that's where we need to maybe change it up. We only call those people and then select that showcase game of the week. I don't think. I mean, we used to do the other way around. We used to select the game which we think is going to be the big one, and then try to get people who could support that game. I think we could probably do the other way around. We'll see who's available and maybe promote their game.
Yeah, I feel that you should promote people who are willing to come on the show. And you know
Right.
what? You're taking a chance, Parthav, in all these
Right.
things, all right? You know, you're expressing an opinion, I'm expressing an opinion, right? At the end of the day, we are not for somebody or against anybody, all right? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, our job is to make something lively and fun. You get my point? And that's all there is to it. Now, if you're going to take everything personal, then you cannot enjoy life at all. Simple as that. I mean, I just got a text from Tejas Shantegowda. We picked against him, but he's enjoying the show. Now that's what I call sportiveness, right? Being sportive. He's hopefully he's going to surprise everybody in the prediction. Great, I like that. You get my point.
Mm.
That's how it should be. Just because somebody is picked against you doesn't mean that they are against you. It's just that they are taking a chance. They're trying to figure things out, and we are looking at how to make this fun. Otherwise, if you want just this fellow scored 20 runs, go and listen to the other show. That's what I say. You'll get that. I mean, but if you want something beyond that, well, you watch us. We will explore any topic which makes sense.
Yeah. So any captains want to promote their team, please contact me. So we'll promote your team.
Yeah,
So
we would love to hear, especially even if you're new, we'd love to hear
yeah,
from you as well. We would love to know the different compositions of your team as well, the newer teams in Division One as well, which have got a lot of new folks. So yes,
yeah.
we'd love to hear from and
We are
promote
ready to come. We'll give more strategy to win that game too. So
Yes, we'll share our 20 years of experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience on this panel. We have Gaba, you, me. There's a lot of
Yeah, we'll.
guys who can think outside the box. So,
All right.
uh,
We are
but
past time, so
yeah.
won't keep you guys too long. But another great show. Next week we have another round of games, and then we go into the long weekend. But let's hope next week again stays clear and we get all the games in. And I'm pretty sure there will be some games which will stand out and be upsets as well. So looking forward to another cracker next week.
All right.